Welcome to Codex, a history of video games. I'm Mike Coletta.
And I'm Tyler Osby.
And today we're talking about stuff in a discussion episode. We're going to get some discussion
I love discussion episodes.
Me too. So because there's a hit game sweeping the nation. Some
Indeed.
would argue it's not even a game. And that game is Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I wanted to know, as a person that plays Animal Crossing, what makes a good casual game? And I think the first place we need to go is, what is a casual game? And I think I know what it is.
Okay. Tell us your definition of a casual game. We need to make sure we agree on the definition first, and then we can start discussing it, right?
Yeah, I think, and you kind of just said this in our side conversation before we got started, but I don't think you can necessarily lose a casual game.
Okay, so there's not a win state or a loss state.
Well, I would argue that you're always winning because you're always just doing something and getting something new, but it's not like you can lose the game. The only way you lose the game is by stop playing the game.
Yeah.
And even then, that's not really loss.
Yeah. In a game like Animal Crossing, there may be aspects that can kind of be won or lost. Like isn't there like a stock market, STALK?
Yeah, you can lose bells.
You could lose bells on the stock market, but I would say then that the stock market is a game within Animal Crossing. But maybe Animal Crossing itself, not so much a game as it is a hobby. I have a friend who we've had this conversation before. He's like, I don't think Animal Crossing is a game. It's more of a hobby because you can't win or lose. And part of like the definition of a game is being able to win or lose. And that's not disparaging. I'm not saying like, well, it's not a real game because you can't. I'm just saying like when we talk about the definition, I think hobby is maybe more of an accurate description. And that doesn't mean you can't have fun doing it. I have fun like gardening, right? But I wouldn't say it's a game. Although you can lose at gardening.
In real life, you can.
In real life, you can.
All my tomatoes died.
Yep, that happened to me.
That happened to you? Oh no.
Yeah, all my tomatoes died.
Oh no. It's hard to grow plants in the Southern California area, though. As a person who lived there at one time, it is hot and difficult.
Yeah, it can be rough, but I'm having a good time. Anyway, this is welcome to our gardening podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the new gardening podcast. So the thing that I wanted to discuss is, so Animal Crossing, and this is the definition given by Wikipedia, is called a social simulation game. Okay. And then Stardew Valley is just called a simulation game. Those were the two kind of games I was thinking of. Those are the big two. I'm sure there are others.
So like kind of farming, admittedly I haven't played Stardew Valley, so I don't know what the win-loss state is in that game. I think there is one. Like I think you can lose at it, right?
You can? I don't even know if you can.
I don't know. I haven't played it. So maybe
we goofed.
Maybe.
I have it on I bought Stardew Valley on my phone. I played it for a bit, and then like all things on my phone, I ignore it because I hate being on my phone all the time. So that's a big problem I have. But the thing, so today we're trying to answer what makes a good game like casual game.
Okay.
And
I can tell you my definition of a casual game, I think.
Go for it. I'm ready for it.
I think it's a game that has zero or very few stressful states, right?
Oh,
like you don't,
that's good.
When you sit down, so when you sit down to play Animal Crossing, it's not stressful, right? There's nothing that is like, there are no deadlines. There's no really, right? That makes sense, right?
That's right. There's no deadlines.
So like you just sit down and you just play as much as you feel like. And if you get up and leave and come back later, you don't really feel like you missed out on anything. You just sit down and it just helps you unwind and relax.
Exactly. And to a very nice music too. Oh my gosh, I love it. So, what I'm trying to do, guys, I'm trying to talk about how much I love Animal Crossing. That's really what it comes down to. I love this so much I wanted to talk about it. So to me, and I was trying to think about Minecraft as being like this, but Minecraft is not like this because Minecraft has an end game state where you can beat the game.
Yeah, and you can definitely die in Minecraft. I mean, unless you're playing like creative mode. I think creative mode falls under the sort of casual.
Yeah, and in that sense, I guess like Lego Worlds, which is another building game like that. There's a lot, or any sort of would you argue that like a roller coaster tycoon, like those kind of games, you can't really lose them, can you? If you run out of money, maybe?
I mean, I think you can, there is a state where you kind of consider it, you're just like, well, I give up and I'm going to start over. Like there is definitely playing good and playing poorly. And I don't think there isn't like a definite like game over, you lose screen, but there also isn't a definite like you win screen either. They just go on forever, right? Simulation games are often like that, where they just kind of go on and you either run out of money and can no longer do anything, at which point I guess I would call that a lost state, right?
By the way, I feel so stupid right now because we're missing a very big sim game. It's called The Sims.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you could argue that Second Life, that MMORPG, is a lot like this because there is no win state in Second Life.
I don't think so. I've never really played it.
Yeah, I think the way Second Life works is you just live your life and that's kind of it. And there's no real point to it. You just socialize with people online and that's it.
Yeah,
if anyone
and you
here,
sell t-shirts.
Yeah, if anyone here has been playing Second Life, please let us know, or played Second Life. We'd be very interested in hearing from you because I'm curious about that game. But I'm curious as in I never want to play it, but I want to know all about it. That's what I'm talking about. But with The Sims and like Animal Crossing is the big two, and Stardew Valley. To me, like what makes those games so it's so addictive, because it is addictive. Oh man, I've played so much Animal Crossing. Is you farm stuff and gather stuff to make stuff, and there's always something new to make. There's just
a whole treadmill.
Yeah, it's a reward. A gather reward system that is just it's grindy, but it feels nice because it's like 10 items instead of like, we talk about it all the time. You got to go grab all these spider butts in World of Warcraft, and you got to bring me some like 100 spider butts. In Animal Crossing, it's like bring me 10 rocks. Oh, and rocks are everywhere. Here we go. Let's do this.
And is the gathering of rocks itself fun? I don't have a problem with bring me 10 spider butts missions. I have a problem when killing the spiders is not fun. Like it's just
when gathering their butts is a not fun activity.
Right. If gathering spider butts was a really, really inherently fun activity, I would have no problem with that. Like, I think Destiny has a lot of those kinds of things, like with the bounties, where it'll be like, I don't know, kill 10 of this thing. And like, sometimes that feels a little bit like, spider butts. But usually killing stuff in Destiny is just inherently fun because I find the combat system to be really fun. So like, go here and kill these guys. All I need is that motivation of I'm going to get something on the other side of it to go do it. Whereas like spider butts in World of Warcraft is like, I'm just going to sit here and watch my guy fight and maybe press a button every once in a while and I don't care.
Yeah. Man, Destiny stuff though, there's some things in Destiny grind that have really irked me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the one about rocks and like Animal Crossing is like, there's like, if you hit the rock, there's a mini game with hitting rocks in Animal Crossing, believe it or not. And that is don't miss. If you miss, the items stop coming out.
Oh, no.
So you got to kind of get good at like hitting the rock, moving forward a little bit as you hit it so you can keep hitting over and over again because your guy gets kicked back every time. So there is a mini game to it. And when you get good at it, it feels very good, especially when you hit a money rock. It's just full of bells. Oh, man, it feels so good.
Nice.
But I think you need to have that sort of like reward system where you're not doing too much grindy stuff. You are doing something, so it does feel like a little bit like work, but the reward is so quick and easy. And also the reward makes you feel like you're customizing something and making it your own, which is your second part of it, is like you can express yourself in these games very well.
Okay, so self-expression is a part of this casual definition of yours.
Yes. To me, you have to express yourself because, for example, in The Sims, you can decorate your house. Animal Crossing, it's the same thing. Stardew Valley. Like, you can make this island whatever you want it to be. And that's why it's so great, is you're doing these tasks to get small things to express yourself. And it's like very addictive because the third aspect of it is it's social and people can come to your island and visit. So it's like you want to be the person that's got the coolest island or a nice island. And you can just keep going and going and going. It's a forever loop of fun and apples and selling fruit.
And paying back Tom Nook.
That's the other thing, too, is Tom Nook is so casual about it. He's like, just pay him back whatever. That man is, oh, man, that Tanuki, let me tell you what, he is rolling in the bells, okay? He's made so many bells. It almost feels like a retirement island. Is it strange?
Animal Crossing Retirement Island.
It feels like, oh, you're making this island so great. It's so nice. What a nice community. And in my mind, they're all like 85, all these animals moving in. today something very exciting happened. There was a concert on the island, and then this guy's going to come back every Saturday and do a concert for us, which is great. So
nice.
He's a dog that plays acoustic guitar.
Is it KK Slider?
It sure is KK Slider.
I love KK Slider. He's in the GameCube one. That's the only Animal Crossing I've ever spent any real amount of time playing.
So wait, is there? They must be crossover. Then I met a guy named Rover, and I got a briefcase from Rover. Is that a person from Animal Crossing GameCube?
I don't know.
Maybe. There's a lot of cool animals. There's a lot of animals on our island now.
Yeah, I like Mr. Rossetti.
Oh, what is he? What animal is he?
He might not exist anymore just by the nature of how games work now, but in Animal Crossing on the GameCube and I think if for like the DS ones after that for a little while, he's a mole that comes up if you reset your game without like saving or like ending your day or whatever at the end. What you're supposed to do, before you turn it off, you're supposed to like save. If you reset your game without doing that, he comes out. And like before he lets you back in the game, he gives you a lecture on saving at the end of your game and how you should never reset your console without saving your town in Animal Crossing, because that's how you lose data. And the more you do that, the longer his lecture gets. It goes on and on and on and on. And at one point, he will even come up and he like threatens like 10 times in a row he's gonna delete your game if you do this one more time. And then finally he like almost does it, but then like he stops you. I don't think he ever actually does it, but he gets so mad about it. And it just goes on and on and on and on. It's so funny.
I want this to come back. I hope this is Animal, because we've always saved it appropriately.
Yeah.
It tells you not to turn off the power while saving. I wonder if we did that, if it would happen. But at the same time, it could also corrupt our save file, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do it while you're actually saving. But yeah, you could try it sometime, like load it up, play for like a couple of minutes, and then just turn it off, or just quit the application without saving, and then see if Rossetti pops up. He's an assist trophy in Smash Bros. I think starting in Smash Bros. Brawl, where you grab him and he just pops up and his speech bubble takes up the whole screen, and like nobody can see what they're doing because he's
just lecturing you. Oh, I love it. That's such a funny idea. Yeah,
he gets really mad about resetting your GameCube. Man, it's hilarious.
Now I have the game. I should play it just to make him mad and see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm super into it. Yeah, but I think the other thing about the social aspect of these casual games is so important. And it happens on phones a lot now, too. There's a lot of phone games where you're trying to make something that people come visit,
Yeah.
And I think it's the same kind of premise where you're farming stuff, because Animal Crossing really feels like a phone game with no microtransactions.
Yeah.
It really feels that way, but in a great way, because it can show you what phone games could be like,
Yeah.
If they had
there is an Animal Crossing phone game too, and it is full of microtransactions.
Oh, it's littered with it, I'm sure. But yeah, that one, I saw that one, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to get that. It seems like, and you see people in the comments like it is full of microtransactions to the point where you're going to get stalled, for time. But I think other cool things that you need to have in your game, and this is definitely an Animal Crossing thing, probably more than a Sims thing, is the economy is actually really interesting.
Okay, so there needs to be an economic factor as well.
Yeah, so the whole point of Animal Crossing New Horizons is your island has natural flowers and fruits on it. And those don't sell for a lot on your island. But if you go to another island that doesn't have that, you can make a ton of money. So my apples on my island are not worth very much. But if I go to my friend who's got a pear island, I could sell my apples for 500 bells each. And they have stacks at 10.
So if you take a pear from his island, can you plant it on your island and grow pear trees?
You can, but you actually...
That's what I did. That's what I did on the GameCube one. Because you can visit other people's towns on GameCube, except it's a whole manual process of like you bring your memory card over to your friend's house and they can visit your town by you physically plugging your memory card into their GameCube and vice versa. So you go to someone else's town, you take one fruit from them, and then you go back to your town, you plant it. Now you have a pear tree, peach tree, whatever that you didn't have before, and you can sell those for tons of bells. That was the secret. But you had to have a friend who also had Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah. See, so you go to people's islands in this one, and you actually dig up the tree. And you just transplant
you just take
the
whole tree.
Yeah. Wow. It's pretty fun. I actually really like it, and I haven't gone to anyone else's island yet because there's another thing in the game called Nook Miles. And the way Nook Miles work is you can buy items with them, but you can also get a Nook Miles ticket, which takes you to a random empty island like Castaway, and you just farm it like crazy. You strip it of all of its natural resources. And sometimes you get an island that is not your fruit on your island. And you come back with like 40,000 bells worth of stuff. And it's awesome. And that's what we live for, at least in my household.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, is the alternate orchard islands. But yeah, there's an economy with the fruit. There's an economy with the flowers and making hybrid flowers. There's also like all these different animals to catch that, like there's fish and bugs, and they all have different prices to them. And they also, those rotate throughout the season. So there's certain fish, this fish probably in the game we haven't even caught yet because it's not winter time. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Which is really cool. It keeps you in the game that long. Also, there is a really cool collection system where they have a museum that you build on the island. And every item in the world you can donate to the museum. And you think, oh, it's just like a plaque that has the item you got. No, if you get an insect, there is a straight up tropical butterfly house in the museum that you can walk into and click on the sign, and it'll zoom in at all the flying bugs and tell you what they are.
Wow.
And there's also fossils you can dig up that are like straight up dinosaur bones, and they build dinosaur skeletons. It's so cool, man. And if
you drop them in your house, do they turn into the dinosaur skeletons too?
I don't know. I haven't done that yet. I wonder. There's also just a bunch of crazy shit you can build. Crafting's the other crazy part about the game. Like, again, there's so much stuff in Animal Crossing to keep you in, and it does such a good job of keeping you in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is really just Mike's review of Animal Crossing at this point, because I can't get over how good it is.
I know. I wish I need to pick it up. I feel like I should have played it now.
Yeah, I mean, we could go hang out on each other's island, and it'd be dope. I just can't believe how I've never played a game like this in my life, and I never really got it. And coming out at this time was so quintessential.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
This is like, they could not have picked a better release timing for Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the
New
videos
Horizons.
of like Elijah Woods going to people's islands to sell his pears or whatever?
No.
Or no,
is he
his
just
turnips.
like posting on Instagram or something?
He posted on Twitter, I need to sell my turnips. If your island's got good turnip prices, let me know. Because that's the stock market, is you sell your turnips. Yeah. And the prices fluctuate twice a day. I bought turnips for the first time this week because, truth be told, listener, my girlfriend owns and runs the island. I am merely a resident on it. And she knows way more about the game than I do. And she helps me out because I am not paying attention, and I still owe Tom Nook a lot of money. So it's a never-ending story of getting caught into debt with that guy, but now my house has 2 rooms. No big deal.
Hey, it just continues to get bigger and bigger. You'll get a basement, you'll get a second story.
Yeah, but that social interaction part of it and going and visiting other people's islands is what makes that so good. Because I think The Sims had that too, right? It has online capabilities.
Maybe in the later ones. I've only played like the first one and the second one, and I don't think that you could go to like other houses on your neighborhood, but they were all presumably your houses, but I don't think you could like go online and go to your friends' houses. But maybe you can in 3 or 4. That seems like something you should be able to do. I know that they did have an MMO in the early 2000s before Sims 2 came out. It was called The Sims Online, and it had a subscription fee, and you could play online. And so I'm sure you could go to other people's houses in that. But they turned that off a few years ago, I think.
Do you consider, like, we can count those phone games as being like casual games, right? The ones that I was talking about where you get resources and you build and then people go visit what you're building. Because if that's the case, the other thing that I have to say that's going to make a casual game really good is accessibility to a wide audience. Because the audience is so wide on phone games. Like, everyone talks about how their grandma's like obsessed with Bejeweled or whatever, but like they're getting every person that has a phone involved.
Which is like every person.
Yeah. So Animal Crossing on phone, like, that's just mind blowing. Because you could already, a game like Pokemon Go also, you can't lose Pokemon Go. There's no way to lose it when you think about it.
Yeah, I would consider that a casual game. I mean, you can lose like a raid, or isn't there a battle mode now you can lose at?
Yeah, but I mean, you can't lose the actual, there's no game over. Like, you can't, all your Pokemon are dead. Sorry. Like, this is not going to happen to you. And in that case, you're getting people of all like walks of life coming in and playing that game, which makes me so happy. That's the key.
Yeah. And if they don't want to take part in those things that do have a failure state, then they can just choose not to and
exactly.
probably still have a great time.
Because technically Animal Crossing does have a failure state because you could lose bells on the stock market if you play it wrong. Yeah. So it's possible, it's not really losing. It's something you'll get back. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't count. I would say the stock market itself is like a kind of a mini game inside of Animal Crossing. I don't think the stock market existing and having a failure state means that Animal Crossing has a failure state. Because like even if you lost every single bell you had, like you can still play Animal Crossing and you'll just get it back eventually because you'll sell your fruit or whatever, right?
Yeah, and that's totally what the battle system in Pokemon Go is like, I think, because you don't really lose anything. Your Pokemon faint. You can wake them up by spinning Pokestops. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about Pokemon Go. I'm glad we brought that up. Because phones, I think, are really where the casual game market shines as far as being like an economically feasible way for companies to make money.
Yeah, and I think that the reason those games appeal to like a wider audience too is I think that traditionally the gamer audience is usually there for like a few different reasons. And if it's like a player versus player game, you're there because you want to show your skill against other people who are also playing the game, right? If it's like a single player game, you're there because you want to show your skill against the challenges that have been set in front of you by the company, right? Like the developers have like set these challenges for you and you want to say, yes, I can beat these challenges. So there's like an aspect of competitiveness even within single player games that draws a lot of gamers in that I think pushes people away from games when they see like people play Mario Kart and they're like, I don't want to play this because it's like competitive and I'm not competitive and I don't like that doesn't appeal to me. I think these casual games, like what you're saying, especially on phone games, because they don't have that failure state or because they don't have that aspect of competition, they're much more accessible. And it's like, oh, I can just play this and I can't lose. I can just have fun building my city in SimCity Build It or building my Springfield in The Simpsons Tapped Out, which is that game still going? I played that for a little while. That's the only like casual game I ever really got into.
I think it's still going. I'm pretty sure it's still going. These games never die, because there's always people playing them.
Yeah, I played it a long time ago. Still going. People still playing it. Okay.
Pokemon Go is like 5 years old now, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's really old.
I think it was 2017.
Oh, I thought it was 2015 for some reason in my head. I thought it was like right
2016. So we're both right.
Right, both right. Right in the middle. Nailed it. Oh, man. If you, by the way, I should mention this now. If you love a casual game and you want to share it with us, please do. Send us an email at codexhistorypodcast@gmail.com. Because I didn't even know this genre was a thing, and I got Stardew Valley and I'm like, this is kind of fun, and I've wasted days of my life in Minecraft easily building ridiculous things. But Animal Crossing is just so new. Oh, the other thing they do with Animal Crossing is they have a crafting system that's really great because you got to get recipes and they give you recipes like crazy. So there's always something new to build to decorate your house. They also just give you pre-built items as presents all the time, which is really neat. That's
awesome.
Yeah, there's actually balloons with presents on them that float across the island, and you shoot them with a slingshot. And there's also messages in bottles that contain DIY recipes that wash up on shore. So it's just great. So fun.
Nice. You're really selling this game to me, man. I might have to pick it up.
I'm telling you, dude, I think you're really going to like it. And it's just one of those things that you log in and you play for like an hour and it's just super fun. And you're like, oh, that was great. And then you're just done. Or it's a great way to keep like connected with friends because you can just play the game and talk to people online.
Yeah.
Because the Nintendo, which I haven't used it yet, but apparently the Nintendo Live service is weird because it just uses your cell phone. But apparently the sound quality, you said, is pretty good because you were playing Mario Kart with people, right?
Yeah, I played Mario Kart with people. It was pretty high quality and it worked surprisingly smoothly because like you get into the Mario Kart match and you're like in the lobby or whatever, and then when you open the app up on your phone or your iPad and you sign into your Nintendo account, it knows you're already in a game on Mario Kart and it just puts you in the lobby for it. So it like worked really smoothly in a way that I was like, this was really smooth, but it shouldn't have to happen this way. Like I should just be able to use my microphone on the console like every other online game ever. But I was surprised at how smooth it worked, even though it was kind of a hassle. Like it's like a strangely smooth hassle. It was weird.
Hey, that's great though. Glad it works out. I can't wait to try it. I'm just telling you, Tyler. This episode is called "What Makes a Good Casual Game?" (parentheses Mike wants Tyler to buy Animal Crossing). That's what the title of this episode will be, and I hope people are fine with that. Oh man, yeah. I just never played this genre before, and I'm blown away by it. Maybe it's because like I'm getting more like less hardcore with video games in my older age, even though I'm not that old, but still, like as I am getting older, I'm kind of like, I don't want to play a game that's going to make me scream at a wall. You know, like when I used to be like super into playing Call of Duty, you know, late at night with my friends and like trying to be really good. Like I'm over that. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah. You're just like, I'm past having video games be a measurement of like how successful I am.
Exactly. That is the great way to put it, Tyler. And
yeah,
I wish more.
Like, that's just how I feel like playing first person shooters. Like if we're playing Counter-Strike or something and people get all mad in the game, and I'm just like, why are you mad though? Like no one's judging you. Like your life isn't dependent on this being, I don't know, just like, why are you upset?
But it's ranked. That's what they'll say. And you're like, it doesn't mean anything though. It literally quantifies to nothing. It's internet. Yeah. It's on the internet.
Yeah. And it is okay. Now we're going into rant city here. This is like not even related, but like it is okay to care and it is okay to take it seriously, but it's just not okay to be a jerk in any reason. There's no reason to ever be a jerk about video games online.
Yeah, no excuse. Okay. Yep. Makes me upset. All right. Well, I wanted to talk about casual games today because I'm having so much fun with it, and I really enjoy it. And I have found like I used to play some phone games in the past. You know, I feel like Clash of Clans kind of was in this category a little bit because while you'd lose, it doesn't really matter. You just rebuild your thing again. But then you get behind like a paywall part and it just doesn't work very well. Yeah. But I played games like that for a bit and enjoyed it, but I was like, I think I'm in the mindset, like so many other people, that I would rather pay $60 for a video game that doesn't have any of those microtransactions and I could play on my own time. And that's what Animal Crossing is, and it's beautiful.
That's great.
Just want to throw it out there. Also, it's great for kids. It's great for the whole family. You can all live on the same island together if you got one Switch. Do I work for Nintendo? No, but it sounds like I do.
You're a paid shill. Just kidding, he's not. But if Nintendo does want to pay us, hit us up.
If Nintendo wants to give me some bells, I'd be most appreciative of it. Because I know a Tanuki who would be very interested in those bells to give me another room in my house. Oh man, we didn't even talk about like how much I love fishing in the game too. Because it's like,
oh, tell me about it. Tell me about fishing.
Because it's like you see the shadow of the fish, so that also is something that makes a casual game good. A little bit of mystery, like you don't know what you're going to catch, so you just go for it. Because what if it's something really big? What if it's something crazy? It gives you that kind of feeling of like, ooh, there's still mystery on this island, you know. And I feel like good casual games do that. I know Stardew Valley does that when you start like exploring, because you're like, what's in these caves? I don't know. Oh, unless you spoil it, of course, by like going online, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what you're saying is you do like loot boxes. You just don't like paying money for them.
Yeah, I think games need that kind of mystery aspect to it.
I agree.
But I don't think you need to charge $2 to make it happen. I think it should just be a gameplay element of a game and you see what happens and it's fun. Yep. When I play Apex, I get excited when I see a loot like Apex pack pop up. Would I ever pay money for them? Absolutely not. You know, but it's nice when they're free. It feels good.
Yep.
So, any hoozle, I think that was what I wanted to get to today. Casual games are fun, and you need to have, in conclusion, a social interaction aspect of it, some sort of really rewarding grind. I'm going to call it grind, even though that's not really what it is, but like, you have to have some sort of grind that feels rewarding. And you also have to have a really good economy to make it so this like it's exciting to make money in the game. You know?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about how Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say what other games fall into that category? There's Animal Crossing. What other games also meet those criteria that you enjoy?
Oh man, I mean, I guess, and it's not a casual game by any means, but no, because that doesn't count because the money is kind of useless afterward. A lot of RPGs, the money system is always useless when you get super powerful. I'm thinking like Skyrim or like any game where you get money. It's like by the end of this game, you're going to have so much money. It doesn't matter. But I think MMOs do a really good job of an economy. So in that sense, I think a lot of different games do bits and pieces of this very well. I don't think they do all the aspects of it well like Animal Crossing does. And if I'm wrong, people should email me and let me know about some other games, and I will play them and be like, you are correct, or lukewarm take, respectfully disagree. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a bunch of other games that sort of
this gotta
also fall in that.
There's so many hidden gems on Steam, probably, that are casual games just like this that I just don't know about, and I'm excited to learn about them. I'd be very interested in knowing about them. But it's just so cute. Animal Crossing is also, the animations are so cute. You're like, this is just a fun, it's a utopia in a time where you need to play a game about a utopia.
Yep. I think my biggest issue with games like that is because they don't really have much of a defined sort of end state, and there isn't a challenge in the traditional video game challenge kind of way. I play for a while and I have a lot of fun. I eventually get to a point where I go, wait a minute, what am I doing? Like, what is this for? And then it sort of like the rails just fall apart and it just collapses in on itself, because I also don't highly value personal expression in video games like that. Like Minecraft, building things, that doesn't do it for me. I don't care.
Yeah, see, and that does it for me. And I think, watch, because in 2 months I'm going to be like, oh, I just like was why anymore with Animal Crossing. You know, I'm going to be a total hypocrite. Yeah. But I think there is kind of an end game with Animal Crossing. You ready for it? And I think it's paying off all your Nook loans and having the biggest house. I think that's...
We'll see if you keep going after that.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
That's the real question is, does it end? Because I don't know. I haven't played that far.
It definitely doesn't.
It doesn't? Oh.
No, I mean, if it's like the GameCube game, I mean, it doesn't end because you still continue to do the same stuff you're doing before you paid off the loans, only now you don't have loans breathing down your neck. So if you were getting... If things like designing your own t-shirts and finding fossils and finding all the fish and doing all of that cool stuff, like if that was inherently very fun for you and very satisfying, then after you pay off your Tom Nook loans, you still got all that to continue doing, and that's still going to be fun. If paying off those Tom Nook loans is your primary motivation for playing Animal Crossing, as soon as that's done, you're going to be like, what am I doing here?
Oh, no.
And then leave.
Oh, no. Can I tell you my theory about Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
I don't think there's one Tom Nook. I think in the universe you live in Animal Crossing, it's a dystopian future, and it's like the Matrix where everyone's plugged into having their own island, and there's millions of Tom Nooks. And when you go visit someone else's island, you're just going there, but it's all in your head. You're
just visiting their Matrix.
Yeah, their Matrix, and then you leave their Matrix. I think that's it. I think all the animals are robots. I don't think it's real.
Oh,
this is my dystopian vision of Animal Crossing: New Horizons. And you all just got it as the hot take at the end of the episode before we start reading emails.
Yeah. Should we get into some emails?
Let's get into some emails. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
Sure. Go for it.
All right. The first one is from Chris. Now, Chris said I could say his full name, but I'm not. I'm going to say, hey there, Chris from Hampton, Virginia. Did give his full location, though. Watch out now. It even says, don't really care if you guys say my full name and all that. So that's good I said the actual location. Congrats on 100 episodes. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. I started listening to this podcast back in January and have finally caught up to date. Wow, that is a lot of things to listen to, Chris. I'm sure you're tired of our voices by now. This is such an awesome podcast, and it's actually the first podcast I ever started. Ooh, it's an honor.
Wow.
I love that you guys are so laid back and cover such a wide range of video game topics and history. It's such an easy podcast to listen to while driving or on the job. I love all the running jokes and callback you guys make in almost every episode, especially John Glames and Jaybird. Those are the two favorites.
I feel like we haven't talked about them in a while.
We haven't. I also just called them Babrits on accident, and I'm not going to take it back. I think I'm going to call them, there are Babrits. There are bays and our favorites. And for me personally, I say bring in the biggest soundboard you guys can. Love the air horn drops, and there's a bunch of air horn and trumpet emojis. Keep on making these awesome episodes, and I'll keep on listening. I just want to suggest a few topics that you guys could cover. I would definitely love to hear about. Please forgive my poor memory. You guys may have already done an episode or on one or two of those. Well, you know what, Chris? I forget all the time too, so don't even worry about it. First topic idea from Chris: controller or console changes throughout the ages.
I love this idea because we don't talk about hardware on the show. We only talk about games, and there's a whole half of gaming that is the hardware, and we could talk about some really interesting stuff there, I think.
Yeah, he actually says it would be pretty neat to hear about this. I've always been curious why different color controller or console shapes were implemented. By far, my favorite by far is the Xbox One controller. That does have a great history. The Duke.
100% agree.
Ah, the Duke. Dead Space. I've always been a fan of the story Dead Space series, although I think the series could have had a little better ending. No spoilers here. The story otherwise was amazing. If you guys haven't played it yet, I totally recommend it, but beware of the jump scares. You know I can't handle a jump scare, Chris.
I'm out. That's out. Nope, not for me.
You know Tyler and I are a bunch of scaredy cats? Everyone knows that. That's why we have John Glames to protect us. Mass Effect. Oh, that's a good one. Who doesn't love Mass Effect? I don't recall if there's an episode on this. There definitely isn't, as far as I know. But this, I know, it was brushed over a few times. Would love some dedicated episodes to it. I don't count Andromeda because I still haven't gotten over my butt hurt about losing Commander Shepard, and I'm still a little salty about it, although Andromeda isn't half bad in terms of gameplay. Did I just read a spoiler for a very old game? I think I did.
No, because it's just because Andromeda doesn't have Commander Shepard. It's like a totally separate story in a different galaxy.
I paid $12 for Andromeda. I played the first world of it, like the tutorial world, and then I haven't played it since. Super Mario Sunshine. Oh, that's such a good game. Let's just have a moment of silence for how great Super Mario Sunshine is.
Yeah.
That was so good. Here's what Chris says. Can't remember if there was an episode on this. I think there probably was, as much as you guys covered Mario, but another great classic indeed. I think we've talked about it, but we haven't done a full episode on it, and that would be a great one. Sim City.
Oh, man, I love SimCity.
I've only played a small amount of Sims with my wife, but I used to love the old SimCity game growing up. I did too. I had SimCity 2000. Is that the one you had, Tyler?
Yes, I had SimCity 2000, and then later I had SimCity 3000 Unlimited.
They had a new one. Was it 3000? Was the new one that came out like 3 or 4 years ago?
No, they had it was just called SimCity, and it came out almost 10 years ago now.
Never mind.
That's the newest one. Yeah, it's 7 years ago. It's I still think of it as new. There's a lot of controversy around how it was like always online and just not very fun. If you are a fan of that genre and are looking for something new to play in the SimCity genre, Cities Skylines is a pretty good spiritual successor to the SimCity thing that the newest SimCity just is not very good at, I guess.
Oh, that's a great recommendation. He says this would be an interesting topic to cover, and I'm not sure how popular it is with the rest of the audience or you guys. I think SimCity is pretty popular. Like we all played SimCity.
We could do an episode on just sim games in general. Like that was a whole brand. Like remember Sim Ant and Simcopter and Streets of SimCity, and there's all kinds of games in there, especially in the 90s.
So this next paragraph has Chris shouting out his gamer tag in it, and I don't feel like I should say it.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it. And if he's fine with us saying that, I'll blast it. But he has a PS. He says, PS, one last idea for my wife's sake. She and I are very different when it comes to video games. She has a select handful that she likes, one of them being the Harvest Moon series. That is the other simulation game we should have covered this episode. Because isn't that the kind of... well, what can you do?
Well, I've never played it.
I never played it either. To my knowledge, this is what Chris says, it's comparable to Animal Crossing. Well, there you go. Now we sound like a bunch of noobs, but we've never played Harvest Moon. All the more reason to play it. I have no idea how, for sure, as I've never played either. Oh, so Chris hasn't played it at all either. So we're all just a bunch of noobs. Personally, I've been wanting to try the old Animal Crossing for GameCube, and I have a good feeling she might enjoy it as well. Tyler can recommend that. He played a lot of that.
I love that one.
Could you guys cover that game in an episode? If it hasn't been covered already, thanks. Well, you know what, Chris? I was thinking about doing the GameCube Animal Crossing for next week's episode, so I will keep that in mind as far as the history goes. Oh, he also has one final answer to our question at the end of the movie episode for episode 100. I'm going to read it right now. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I have to totally agree with you guys, and I too say Detective Pikachu and Wreck-It Ralph were great video game-based movies. Looking forward to seeing Sonic. It looks pretty good. I'll probably have to catch it on DVD or streaming because of the whole lockdown, but one sort of, quote, video game movie I am very hyped about is Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. It looks absolutely hilarious. I've never heard about that. What is Free Guy? Have you seen it, Tyler?
I think from watching the trailer, which I watched several weeks ago, it seems like it's Ryan Reynolds as a character in a video game who sort of figures out that he's in a video game. And then shenanigans ensue, and it's probably going to be really funny. I don't know.
Oh, that looks like a cool. I'll watch the trailer. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Do you want to read the next email, Tyler?
Yeah, we got one here from Rude Days from Kentucky. Rude Days in Kentucky. Hey, Mike and Tyler, congratulations on making 100 episodes, and here's to hopefully 100 more. Thanks, Rude Days. On the topic of your last discussion, one franchise I believe you forgot to mention, or maybe I missed you guys mentioning, a franchise that I would say was very successful in both the video game and movie industry is the James Bond franchise. While there hasn't been a Bond game in a while, parentheses, seriously, where are the Bond games? It has obviously left a heavy impact on both the gaming and movie world. As far as my favorite video game movie, it would have to be the first Mortal Kombat movie. The characters, for the most part, were exactly what I envisioned them to be. And while I would have liked more screen time for characters like Scorpion and such, I thought following the story of Liu Kang and his friends seeking revenge against Shang Tsung was a simple and effective story. Also, that movie's soundtrack was fire.
Test as far as your might.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's so good.
As far as the second Mortal Kombat movie goes, bad CGI, and they killed one of the best characters from the first movie in the opening scene, so not a fan. Again, soundtrack was fire, though. Till next time, Rude Days in Kentucky. Thanks, Rude Days.
I used to, when I played high school sports, I had that on my mix. The Mortal Kombat movie. It's so good. That's such a good song. It's so great.
I had Jean-Claude Van Damme in the movie.
Wasn't he in the Street Fighter one? He was in the Street Fighter movie.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. It was Street Fighter. I got confused.
That would be a great movie. Oh, we should say that right now. If you liked our movie commentary thing last week, please let us know, because we don't know if we should do more of them or not.
Yeah.
We won't do more of them if you didn't find them great. But because I think watching Mortal Kombat or watching Street Fighter would be two great movies to watch for that, because that's just fun. Chris had one more follow-up email. He says, please note, I sent my last email before finishing the most recent episode of 100 and hearing the comments made about Dead Space. I'm totally not offended. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is totally not a ripoff of Alien. My bad, everybody. Okay, this is Mike saying my bad. It gets good mostly at the end of the first and the second game. Okay, Chris, good to know. Sorry, everybody. I had a lukewarm take and no one liked it. But yeah, I think that's going to about do us for us this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Again, you can email us at codexhistorypodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can rate and review and subscribe to us wherever you listen. And we definitely got some new Apple Podcast reviews. Did I tell you that? We're up to 66 now. We jumped from like 63 to 66. I got 2 reviews here. If I forgot to read your podcast. Oh, actually, there's 3 reviews here. Sorry about that. First one, April 19th, from, quote, a local boomer. 5 stars. This podcast is the bomb. I love video games and I wanted to get more into it, and this was my first option. Thanks for Codex. So kind of you. Thank you, a local boomer. Next one was on April 21st. Fun and interesting from Coy McBee. I enjoy listening to this while I do my daily stuff. All the information is great and everything is talked about long enough without being too long. Thank you, Coy McBee. And lastly, also on April 21st, Jakey J 420 wrote, gangbusters and hotcakes, 5 stars. This pod is awesome. I love the banter between these two, and I find myself listening to episodes on games I don't care about just to hear their takes. Well, thank you, Jakey J, and you can just hear us also talk about games we don't know about, apparently, with Harvest Moon. I knew there was another casual game, and I couldn't remember it, and I didn't write it in my notes, and that's just the way it is. Oh, well. It's too late now. We're not going to go back. We're not that kind of podcast. It's a free show. Okay. So there's that. No time. But anyway, thanks so much for listening, everyone. It's been great. Tyler wants to say bye to everybody.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.